Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem, performed by the Dakota Marching Band.
Hey, start swing on 17, come on.
Football fans, and welcome to Week 7 of the MHSAA football season, the MAC Red regular season finale. As the Dakota Cougars welcome in the Eagles of Eisenhower. I'm Brad Fetters for Chippewa Valley Cable, joined once again by Iroquois Middle School 8th grade head football coach Jeff Battalion. Jeff, to start off our coverage with the road team, the Eisenhower Eagles, a team that is 1-5 overall and has dropped their last 4 games. Eagles really struggling to find an identity on offense, averaging only 14 points per game.
Yeah, this is something the Eisenhower Eagles are not used to. And we'll share the stat a little bit later in the broadcast that you dug up. But this is a very proud team with a very rich tradition, and they've been hit hard by the injury bug this year. It's really, they had to change several quarterbacks. The sophomore got hurt. Wide receiver came in. Now he got hurt. And now the sophomore's back, but yeah, they've been patching and filling holes. It seems like in a leaky dam all season. And when you're injury riddled and not playing the same guys every week against this division, this competition, not going to bode well for you. That's why they're 0-4 in the division in last place.
As for the Dakota Cougars, they come into play tonight with a 3-3 record, 2-2 in MAC Red play, and have been alternating wins and losses all season long. Dakota looking to solidify their playoff hopes with a win here tonight on homecoming. Eagles looking to play the role of spoiler and pick up their first league victory of the season. The Cougars won the toss, elected to defer to the second half, so the Eisenhower Eagles will have the very first offensive possession of this football game. And last time we saw these Eagles, it was Aiden Ives kind of running the option out of the quarterback position. And Jeff, he's a player that's not going to be in action here tonight for the Eisenhower Eagles. He's out with an arm injury. So we're going to see a lot of the quarterback here tonight, Preston Crum.
Yeah, Crum can sling it. He's a heck of a player. But, being a sophomore, throws a great ball. But, one thing the Dakota Cougars have always been known for is that stifling defense. And they're quick to the ball. You can see right there. Little screen pass. Not much there for on the first play, but Dakota tonight going to run behind what they've been going behind all season, that big offensive line and Caden Sloan. Not having Ives is going to hurt them. I expect to see a lot of passes tonight from that Eisenhower Eagles team. I don't see them being able to run the ball in Dakota.
And they're going to keep it on the ground this time. Bennett Cardamone is hauled down. Football comes out late. They're going to signal that Cardamone was down first, and he was a player that head coach Chris Smith really indicated last week was a physical presence. He thought he was one of the best players on the field for either team in their 27-7 loss to Romeo. So expect heavy doses once again of Bennett Cardamone, number 32 in white.
Yeah, nothing going there in the first play. Vitale came up and did a nice job. No relation, by the way. but a little belly-to-back suplex, and sometimes you might see a flag on there. That's a great move in the WWE, but not in high school football. But no flag, and Ike's 3rd and long.
3 down linemen for Dakota,
Oh,
and it
great
is a
play.
pitch. And as they have Ethan Barker bottled up in the backfield, nowhere to go for Barker. And it'll be a quick 3 and out for the Eisenhower Eagles.
Yeah, Nico Vitale was not fooled on that play. Avoided a block from the receiver, came up and defended the option about as great as you can play it. And again, you know, wherever Coach Bauer has been, they're known for great defenses. And you know, this group is very quick to the ball, very sound, and Ike goes 3 and out in the first series.
And Dakota defense, Jeff, it's giving up 23 points per game, so not quite their typical defense here at Dakota this season, but they get it done on the first drive. It's a little bit of a shank off the foot of Luke O'Neill as it goes out of bounds. So the Cougars will start out with terrific field position all the way up to the Ike 35. Wow.
Well, it ended up being a 13-yard net punt. And, yeah, Dakota is going to get great field position here. And the guy's been having an incredible season, Caden Sloan. You know, 274 against Chippewa. He had 278 yards last week. I know he's eyeing that school record, which is, I believe, 303 yards. Coach Benavides told me before the game. So I look to see a heavy dose of Caden Sloan tonight.
302, Brandon Hughes in 2001 against Warren Mott is the school record. So 4 yards there for Sloan on first down. The junior signal caller Ethan Hamby getting the start for Dakota.
Yeah, and especially if you see the Cougars get up early, you might try to get him in some rhythm a little bit. You know, first-year varsity quarterback, trying to get him some reps. You know, get him comfortable. If they're gonna go far in the playoffs, you really got to balance your attack. You can't be one-dimensional either way.
Casey Carr, the wide receiver at the very top of the formation, and they're gonna sling it out into the flats. Really good job defensively by Ethan Barker to make the tackle.
Yeah, he was a kid back when they played Chippewa who was basically kept them in the game with Ives, and he's a heck of a player. Very good wide receiver, did a nice job on the bubble screen there, coming up and making the play. Dakota loses a couple on that one. Now it's going to be 3rd and long for the Cougars. Obviously, though, would be in 2-down territory here.
Blake Garbarino with the reception. Hamby in the pistol this time. Sloan, the tailback. A little bit of confusion as they look over at their home sideline. They're going to split off Sloan to the left. He's going to take the pass and unable to break a tackle. Luke Myers in on the stop for the Eagles.
Yeah, that's basically just kind of a glorified sweep. It was a backwards pass, so it does go down as a run, but gets him out into space and outside the box there. And it looks like they're going to stay in that spread where sometimes in short yardage situations you see that wildcat where it's direct snap to Sloan. And, you know, for most part of the season, it works out really, really well. Teams have a hard time stopping that.
Caden Sloan averaging over 194 yards per game, nearly 6.5 yards per carry. This is a 4th and 3, need to gain the 25. They're going to pass for it instead and through the hands of the intended wide receiver, Garbarino. So a turnover on downs in the very first possession of the game for the Dakota Cougars will give the ball back to Eisenhower. So good stop there by the Eagles defense.
Yeah, route was there. Just looked like that one got away from Ethan a little bit and sailed high. But the receiver was open past the marker. So Dakota does turn over on downs, but both defenses right now start the game 3 and outs.
Yeah, looking for our very first down of the game. Eagles taking over on the 28-yard line.
Yeah, that Dakota defensive line is really good and they're deep. You got Anthony Coleman.
Low snap. Zolkowski will take the snap, looking for the left edge. Going to cut up towards the sideline, driven out of bounds. Right about the 35-yard line. So good pickup there on first down, net 7 yards, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and short.
Yeah, Anthony Coleman, number 95. Jaden Giles, number 33. And Luke Wheeler, number 40, kind of play that 3-3-5. And you'll also see number 88 pump in there every now and then too, Michael Pasiglio. So they're trying to go with a 3-man front, expecting a lot of passing from Eisenhower and getting more guys into coverage.
Hayden Bills at the bottom of the formation. They fake to Zolkowski, look up top. Instead, they'll flip it short. Not much going there in the flat, so it's Cardamone with the reception.
Yeah, nice open field tackle there by Keon Nixon.
So some very short, safe routes so far out of this Eisenhower offense.
Which is a little surprising. You know, especially having your quarterback back who can really throw it. I was watching this kid throw fades in the pregame, and 40 yards every ball on the dime. It was amazing. A little reverse. Great defense.
Cardamone, they're trying to get him the ball. You can definitely tell that the scripting has been for Cardamone here in the early part of this football game. And
yeah,
once again, the Dakota defense comes up with another 3 and out.
Yeah, Calvin Watson at home on the backside there does a nice job on the counter. And great discipline by the Cougars as the Eagles go with their second 3 and out there. But Eisenhower tried a little trick run play, and Dakota did not bite at all. They have not flinched on defense yet.
So we saw a short punt on the very first try. And this one's partially blocked. Dakota had a punt block a week ago, returned for a touchdown. This one will take an Eagle roll all the way to midfield before it's downed at the 50-yard line. So plus territory once again for the Cougars to operate on offense, a 3 and out on their very first drive of the game. We'll see if they can string something together here with 6:43 left to go in the first quarter.
Well, on drive number 2, they're going to have the worst field position of the night at the 50. But we'll see. Looks like they're going to come out and stay in that spread. And, you know Eisenhower, that front 7 are going to be eyeing number 22. So somebody in that receiving core is going to need to kind of get it going a little bit to loosen them up a little bit and let 22 go.
This is a Dakota offense. It's averaging 25 points per game. Kind of middle of the pack within the MAC Red.
All right. Well, you got to remember some of those opponents too. I mean, they scored 27 on Chippewa, but they had Brother Rice, which was 21.
Yep.
Stevenson, they had 16. That Romeo game was 14-10. Those other games, they put up some points. This offense is very capable of putting up some points.
Yeah, 39 in their win over Anchor Bay, 38 in their win last week against Grosse Pointe South. 38, though, against Grosse Pointe South, as I mentioned, also included a punt block for a touchdown. So those weren't totally all offensive points. Another quick pass to the outside.
Yeah, Blake Garbarino again. And nice job by 15 there. Luke Myers on the tackle. But Dakota just trying to kind of feel them out right now and trying to find where the soft spots are in this Eisenhower defense. And right now, you got to really give it to them. They've been pretty stout defensively so far in this ball game, as Dakota's just trying to kind of find their way right now. Casey Carr checking back in. The Cougars will go 3 receivers to the top of the screen.
Casey Carr, number 11, in the middle of those 3 wide receivers at the very top of your screen. Hamby's going to give it. Sloan's going to explore the left-hand side, lowers his back. And that's just what makes Sloan so good. Those extra yards after contact.
He is. He's one of the best at it. They had him bottled up there, but he just keeps his feet moving. Nice downfield blocking too. And he knew where the marker was, and he was just doing everything he could to get over it. So that's just a very smart running back who knows not to stop his feet and get the first down.
And some movement up front.
Yeah, I think Caden might have started a little early.
Can get away with that in arena football.
Yeah, just go in motion.
Yeah, CFL as well.
Right. The problem is if you go in motion here and it was a run play, poor Ethan stuck in the backfield all by himself.
So expect heavy doses of Sloan. In fact, in their week 1 loss to Brother Rice, touted the football 49 times, Jeff, which is a school record.
Listen, I had the pleasure of coaching this kid at middle school. He is an absolute horse. Fortunately, lost him on a game against L'Anse Creuse North to a broken hand, but this kid can flat out play the game.
Hamby feeling the pressure. It collapses, and the Eisenhower Eagles come up with the sack. Christian Johnson in pursuit.
Yeah, he did a nice job of stepping up in the pocket. It was good coverage downfield. He couldn't really get rid of the ball. He tried to get out of the way a little bit, but Johnson did a nice job of stepping up and making the sack, and now the Cougars are looking at 2nd and long. We'll call it 20.
was coming from Hamby's blind side.
Should be about 19. They got to get down to the 27 for a first down. They're on the 46. So by my math, that's 2nd and 19, but the scoreboard is 2nd and 20.
Either way, it's a long way and nearly back to where they originally scrimmaged from as they took the punt at the 50-yard line. They did pick up the very first down of the game and apparently are going backwards here. Second procedural penalty called.
It's a long way, Brad, and it's not a favorable percentage either. These are down and distances that do not favor the offense. But they're going to get Eisenhower on an offside call here. That's going to help Dakota come back there a little bit now. Instead of 2nd and 19, you're 2nd and 14. You can run a couple plays at 7 yards apiece there and move the chains here. So definitely opens up the playbook a little bit more with that 5-yard help.
Hamby going to sling it out
nice
to the
block.
right. As Gabarino out there.
I see where that flag came in, but I don't know if I agree with that. That was a hell of a block out there. Heck of a block, my apologies. By number 80. I can't see the number from over. 80. That's DeAndre Lawrence. Boy, he just stuffed that kid. I don't know if they're going to call him on a hold. I don't think it was a hold. It looked like a great block, Brad.
Officials are going to talk things over now and see if they pick up this flag.
No, it doesn't look like it. They're asking him right now what you want to do. That's going to be a huge penalty from where out.
Yep, they are going to get Dakota for the hold. It'll be a spot foul and a 10-yard walk-off from the spot of the foul. So after a big chunk play, Dakota behind the midfield stripe now all the way back on their own 49-yard line.
Yeah, it was great execution on the bubble screen. Absolutely beautiful. So
one step forward, 2 giant steps back. And once again, you're in this 2nd down and long situation. 3:20 left to go, opening quarter of play. They send Sloan out in motion. Hamby fakes to him. They set up a perfectly executed screen this time to Quest Williams up to the 46-yard line, but no further. And now Quest Williams comes up limping. And Williams is going to head right over to the Cougar bench.
Yeah, not a lot of downfield passing here. You're at 3rd and long here. Do I just be where don't want to turn it over and let's punt the ball deep and make Eisenhower try to use the field, which they have yet to move the chains. And actually, Brad, well, we have 1 first down in the game so far, and that belongs to the Cougars.
But have only picked up 4 yards on this drive. Hamby looking deep this time. Sidearm, really dangerous pass. Nearly intercepted there. Gambarino was the intended wide receiver. Luke Myers was there in coverage. And that was an instance there where the Eagles jumped the route, nearly had a pick 6.
And almost a surprise receiver that ball got through. And if he would have caught that, there was nobody there.
So once again, the Cougars will have to punt this football away. Terrific homecoming crowd here tonight in attendance on the Cougar sideline. All kinds of festivities taking place in the parking lot. They even had a live band prior to the start of tonight's game. Low line driving
fumble.
kick, that's a live ball. As the punt returner muffed the ball, it's Luke O'Neill. And fortunately for the Eagles, they're able to jump on it.
Aiden Kreitzer on the tackle, and Ike's going to have a long way to go. But boy, Ike was very, very fortunate there. That could have been a huge turnover and give the Cougars a gift. They're going to mark it at the 9.
Terrible starting field position here for the Eagles that have yet to record a first down.
If you've really seen, except for that last pass, both teams really have not gone down the field. It's been a lot of short passes and a lot of runs, and wondering when both teams are going to try to start stretching these defenses out and making them work a little bit.
Well, you talked about Preston Crum has the arm strength to do just that. When we saw this team in action against Chippewa Valley, and there's another fumble, a bad exchange, and it's going to be Dakota football.
Great job by Anthony Coleman jumping on the pigskin there, and the Cougars get a gift. They're going to take it over on the 5, Brad.
The handoff was intended for Zolkowski. The mesh point came together. A little bit of confusion that time between Crum and Zolkowski. Neither came away with the football, and the Cougars able to jump on it.
Well, Anthony, very strong young man. Crum did not have much of a chance to get that ball from him. He locks his hands on that football. It's like a vice grip. 7-yard line, they're going to mark it. Dakota's got huge starting position. Now you see the Wildcat. Sloan at the quarterback spot. Next to him is Calvin Watson, number 44.
So more than likely they'll run behind Watson. Sloan waits for the opening to form, and he plunges ahead for 4. Down to the Eagle 3. Cougars knocking on the door here in the early part of this football game. Just under 2 minutes now remaining in the first quarter of play.
I will say this, though. When the Cougars are in this offense, they're very patient. They'll take 3, 4, sometimes even 2 yards. That offensive line is so good and so big, you're just going to ride it right in there. And, sitting at the 3-yard line right now, this is very, very tough to ask a defense to stop.
Sloan takes a direct snap once again, goes to the left-hand side, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars!
Great run by Sloan on that left side. Opened up a nice hole, Brad.
10th touchdown of the season gives the Cougars the early 6-0 lead.
Yeah, great job. Again, they're very patient in this, and they get 6 on the turnover. The turnover cost the Eagles, and that's kind of been their MO this season, which is why they have struggled to get wins.
Well, you had to figure they had to have a plus turnover margin here tonight if they wanted to create an upset on the Cougars' home field, and it'll be the Eisenhower Eagles that blink first, fumbling the football on the 5-yard line, and 2 plays later the Cougars are in, and they lead it 7-0 after the extra point.
Well, nothing helps the football team get going than a turnover inside the 10-yard line. And the Cougars, as all good teams do, cash it in. And Ike is now going to play, got a trail from behind now and got a chase. So this is going to be a big drive here for Ike. They have not had great starting field position so far in their first 3 drives. They really need to put something together. Trying to do a lot of stuff with running the football. I think, you want to stretch this defense out. You got to start slinging a little bit. Let your sophomore gunslinger do his thing.
And we mentioned the injury to Aiden Ives, and he's a playmaker not only on the offensive side of the ball, but he's one of their starting cornerbacks as well. And this is an Eisenhower team that really couldn't afford injuries to their playmakers. It's an extremely young, inexperienced team, and it's been a struggle all season long, and just insult to injury when you lose a player of Aiden Ives' caliber. Once again, that's a live ball. Cardino's going to pick it up off the carpet and take off with it across the 20 up to the 22 and no farther.
Yeah, nice coverage there by the Dakota special teams, the kickoff squad. Nice job getting down the field. Tyler Harper did a nice job coming off his block, scraping across the field, getting his head across that body and dropping him at the 22. Again, a long field to work with for the Eagles.
Eisenhower started on the 19, the 28, the 9, and now the 22. Crum in the shotgun, looks to his right, fires one into the flats. Zolkowski across the 25 up to the 27. So pick up a 5 there on first down. We'll bring up a second down, 5 to go.
I'll tell you what,
Eagles.
That's a great job by Dylan Ivanen, doing a nice job of coming up and forcing that guy to go back inside. They don't want to go back inside. That's what the rest of the defense is. The team was able to get over there. That could have been a big play. Dylan only kept it to 4 yards. That's a nice job there.
So they will indeed move that football back to the 26. So just a 4-yard gain on first down.
A lot of Iroquois kids in this defense. Kind of makes me a little proud coach tonight, Brad.
Zolkowski, the deep back. They fake to him. Oh, that's another dangerous pass. Looking for Ethan Barker on the outside.
Yeah, he came from a safety position that time, Ivan, and jumped up in the air and made it a tough throw, and he just sailed it out of bounds. Coach Bauer dialing up some pressure here, kind of forcing the issue a little bit. And again, it's kind of been the same old song this first quarter, 3rd and long for the Eagles.
The Eagles just continue to play it safe. Ethan Barker at the bottom of the formation.
Screen.
And well set up screen once again. Cardamone close to the first down markers. I think they're going to give it to him. So that'll be the very first down for Eisenhower with 25 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, nice play call there by Coach Youngblood. Just a nice little middle screen. The Cougars were coming hard on a blitz and just dumped it right over the defensive line there. And they were able to pick up Dylan Ivan again on the stop. He had called his name a few times in this drive, but the Eagles finally get to move the chains for the first time. We'll see if they get one more playoff before the quarter ends.
They're going to have to hurry, and the buzzer will sound. Quick first quarter of play with Dakota out in front 7-0, thanks in large part to the Eisenhower Eagle fumble on the 5-yard line. Created a very easy scoring drive for Dakota. It was Caden Sloan's 10th touchdown of the season, and has put the Cougars out in front 7-0. So this is the 29th all-time meeting between these two schools, and Dakota has the edge in the all-time series, Jeff, 15-13.
Yeah, I know in the very early years it was tough sledding, but when Coach Giannone got it going, you know, one thing Chippewa Valley could never do was get Eisenhower, and Coach Giannone and the Cougars really seemed to have their number early on. Kind of went back and forth there for a while, but yeah, that all-time series is pretty. Lately, it's been all Dakota. Like I said, early on when this school was freshmen and sophomores, they were kind of taking it on the chin there for a little while. You know, it took some time to kind of really get it going, but once they got this thing going over here, they have really had the Eisenhower Eagles number.
Of the teams that Eisenhower has played more than 5 times, Dakota and Detroit Catholic Central are the only 2 teams that they have a losing record against.
Wow, that's an amazing stat. I mean, you want to talk about the consistency of that program. I mean, look who you got in that. I mean, you got Romeo in that conversation, Stevenson, all the teams in the state. They've, you know, even in the playoff run, they've played the who's who in the state. So to have only those 2 schools, I mean, that's amazing. Great defense there by Nixon on the breakup. And that's going to bring about 3rd and 4. On that first down play, the Eagles threw a nice little bubble screen, very nicely executed. Got 6 on it before the Dakota broke that up. So 3rd and 4. Eisenhower starting to get something going a little bit offensively, Brad.
Getting into a little bit of a momentum, and this will be the telling play here on this 3rd down. You got to move the sticks and keep the keep the ball away from this high-powered Cougar offensive attack. So you like that stat, huh?
Yeah, that was very impressive. I could never find something like that.
And give a big credit to our research staff coming up with that one.
I try to survive on my good looks.
And you got plenty of those.
That's why they say I'm made for radio. We got a hold over here. No call.
Zolkowski lowers his
Smokes.
shoulder, finally driven out of bounds. And there's your first down for the Eisenhower Eagles.
Well, I can tell you this. Number 3, Dylan Ivanen, was trying to come off his block, and he was on the side of his shoulder pad pulling away. I made this comment last week. Stevie Wonder yelling at his TV screen right now. That was an obvious hold, and that referee on the near sideline missed it.
Crum drops back.
Double
Good
move.
pocket there. He's going to scramble out to his right. Floats a pass downfield. Ethan Barker wide open. Amongst 3 Dakota Cougars, he got himself open down to around the 38. So plus territory now for the Eagles as they are finally on the Cougar side of the 50-yard line.
Barker put a double move, and the safety helped over the top with that. So what he did is, like any smart, well-coached receiver, worked his way back to the ball, found some openings. Crum bought himself some time with his feet, delivered a nice ball as he came back to the football and made a nice gain there for the Eagles.
Crum looks over at his sideline for some last-second instructions, sends Cardamone in motion. He's going to flip it out to Cardamone, looking for the left edge. Nothing there.
Well, Calvin Watson the stop. Nice job by the Cougar defense on that option. It's a very nice design offensive play, but it's even a better scheme by the Cougars to stop that.
Anthony Coleman in on the stop as well for Dakota. 2nd down and 9. See if the Cougars can pin their ears back here defensively. Continue with that 3-downman look. Crum in the pistol. 4 wide receiver set, 3 to his right. He's going to roll out that way. It's a key block from his halfback. Slings it out to the right side. Pass is complete. Minimal gain there on 2nd down. Will bring up a 3rd and 6.
Yeah, again, nice coverage by Dylan Ivanen. You know, Dakota put some pressure on him. He had to step up. Crum doing a nice job of getting himself some extra time with his feet, Brad. And he's making some nice plays.
Those are clear rollouts for the quarterback to provide him a little extra time. This isn't an enormous offensive line by any stretch of the imagination. One of the smallest in the MAC red. And now you got a design QB keeper on the QB draw play as he finally stumbles down inside the 10-yard line. Big gain there by Preston Crum.
Yeah, nice job of getting up the middle there, and I don't think anyone on the field expected that. Next thing you know, he's sitting down inside the 10-yard line at the 8. That was a 26-yard scamper.
So all of a sudden now, the Eisenhower Eagles knocking on the door. We'll see if the Cougars defensively can come up with a stop. It'll be 1st and goal to go from the 8-yard line.
I said they needed to respond here, and they've really opened up the 2nd quarter. Got a nice drive going, got some rhythm. And they got this Cougar defense who's been pretty dominant in the 1st quarter, got them backstepping a little bit.
Crum looking for that fade at the very top of the formation, in and out of the hands of the wide receiver.
Yeah, Nico Vitale making contact there just as he's about to catch the ball. Bob popped up in the air there. And number 9, Dario Lucci, trying to fly over there and pick it, just couldn't quite get there in time.
Hayden Bills, the intended wide receiver for the Eagles.
Well, 2nd and goal.
Total spread look here. Cardamone in the slot. It's going to be Zolkowski instead. He's bottled up and brought down by Anthony Coleman.
Yeah, he tried to run wide, and Anthony Coleman was having nothing to do with it. Took him down on the ground, and that was a big play there for the Cougar defense, because now you're talking 3rd and goal from the 14, sorry. Not going to be an easy job if you're trying to get in the end zone. Ike may have to settle for a field goal. Nice job by the defense after giving up that long run, which got him all the way down to the 8. Ike is going the wrong way.
So 5-yard loss there on 2nd down and goal. Bring up a 3rd and goal look now. Crum surveys the defense. Immediately looks to his left. Was looking for a receiver in double coverage. And Crum brought down. Quarterback sack.
Yeah, there were three guys involved in that, too, because Coleman was there, so was Giles. So I'd say, Brad, that's got to be a coverage sack. Nice job by the Dakota secondary, not giving Dustin anywhere to throw the football.
So now you're looking at about a 33-yard field goal. And for Eisenhower, they have to feel like they are in desperate need of some points here. They can't afford to have this drive end with nothing, so they will bring out the field goal unit. It's a low snap. The holder had a difficult time getting it down, and now he's going to have to scamper for his life. That's Cardamone, and he is going nowhere. A busted play on a bad snap, and Dakota will take over.
I don't know who's in the middle there, but he just got shoved back so far that might even thrown the holder off, because he was back 3-4 yards and almost within the snap before he even got there. So somebody from that Dakota special teams field goal block unit blew that middle up, and that really threw off the field goal. Now, Ike got a 1st and goal at the 8, come away with nothing, and Dakota takes over at the 22. What a huge turnaround there, Brad.
Yeah, so the Cougar defense bends but doesn't break, and in fact, they don't give up any points there to Eisenhower. So a huge victory for the Cougar defense, and they get the ball right back now, already leading this football game 7-0.
Look out.
And you can't contain this guy for very long. It's Caden Sloan across the 50-yard line down to the Eisenhower 48.
You give him that edge, and he cuts up field like he can do. He's got great field vision, and as strong as Caden is, your chances aren't good. Nice 30-yard run on 1st down for Caden Sloan. And a great job by that offensive line, especially that right side. Smolars and 55, Prushnik.
Good to see Quest Williams back out there, kind of playing the role of the fullback, and it's going to be Sloan once again. 11 yards on 1st down.
And what he does too, Brad, is he doesn't force it. He's very patient at following his offensive line, because he knows if he gets that 2nd, 3rd level, he can break tackles from those guys. It's getting past that initial, the big guys there up front. Does a nice job of just staying behind his offensive line and moves the chains because he was just patient.
Boy, oh boy, this Dakota football team has had a abundance of running backs come through here over the years. They've had a richness of spoils, so to speak, as they go play action fake this time. Hamby looking to go deep. He's got a receiver out there. Was looking for Olin Coport.
Yeah, they've had, the kid who just left here wasn't too bad.
I think he's playing for the Central Michigan Chippewas, is he not?
He is. Boy, they have just, you talk about some teams becoming, linebacker U, and just one after the other after another, just been manufacturing college running backs.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Linebacker U, Penn State, Dakota's RB High School. Go play action fake once again. Alan Browning, number 14 on the outside, picks up a couple. That's a long pass outside those numbers.
That is a long pass. And, that's a tough play to defend that far out. The Eisenhower defense did a nice job of bottling him in, not letting him get wide. And now we'll see what the Cougars try here on 3rd and 8. I think, too, with the way their defense is played, Brad, I think you're still 4-down territory here. You got a 7-0 lead. Ike just had a big opportunity and didn't squander it. And, I think they're feeling pretty good.
This time they'll swing it out to Sloan. Sloan down to the 23-yard line.
Owen Colpart there on the block. What a block. He just drove that kid all the way down inside, allowed Caden to get outside. And boy, what a beautiful block by the junior wide receiver.
Colpart, also a basketball player for the Cougars, multi-sport athlete here at Dakota.
Well, in a box-out drill in basketball, it's not a good play, but in football, that's a great job.
Yeah, can't get away with that on the hardwood, can you?
No, you cannot. That is frowned upon.
So once again, they send Quest Williams in motion. They'll run Sloan behind him. Better penetration that time by the Eagles defensively, and it'll be Cardamone once again. And there's a reason why his head coach, Chris Smith, labeled him as the best player on the field last week in their loss against Romeo.
Well, the few games we've seen him this year, we called that kid's name quite a bit. He's a heck of a football player. He's very active. He's in every play. He just gets his nose in there, reads the play well and reacted well. Caden did a nice job of staying patient. Cardamone just came flying in as he blitzed and blew it up.
So clock continues to run down, approaching 4 minutes now left in the first half. Hamby throws into double coverage. Oh, what a grab! Good concentration, Garbarino.
Yeah, I mean, he got popped. Ball came right up. He just had the wherewithal to grab it. All that running around, he might have rolled his ankle a little bit. He's limping right now, but what a great football play there. And a first down.
Concentration to watch that ball come bobbling out of your hands. Second chance effort with 2 defenders right in your face. Move those chains, creates a 1st and 10 now from the 14-yard line. So Dakota will be able to pick up another first down without scoring a touchdown. Late sub into the game will be Kelvin Watson, number 44. He's going to talk things over with Sloan. And it'll be Sloan once again, bouncing off a couple wannabe tacklers. Somebody lost their helmet. One of the offensive linemen there for the Cougars, so he'll have to come out of the game.
Yeah, Luke Wheeler. Well, you take Luke out and you bring in Big Colin. Pick your poison. 3 minutes to go. Cougars being very patient.
See the size advantage
Oh.
that the Cougars have along the lines, and that's really the difference. I think it's just the battle in the trenches, and I think that's something that Coach Chris Smith has recognized throughout the season, that they really need to pick up some size and strength in the offseason. So the timeout called by the Eagles defensively.
And right now, Brad, with the personnel Dakota has in the field, it's not even fair. I mean, that right side, you got Smlarge, you got Sherrill, you got, I mean, they're so big. And not only that, you got Jaden Giles behind them, who's, you know, their big-time defensive nose. I mean, and you just got to push. Not to mention you got Watson in the backfield, whose basically just job is to be a lead fullback. I mean, there is a lot of beef there. How do you slow that down when you're undersized?
Really nice job by Dakota in this first half, pitching the shutout. They pitched a shutout in the second half of that win last week against Grosse Pointe South. That was a game they trailed 28-24 at the halftime whistle and ended up outscoring Grosse Pointe South 14-0 in the second half. So essentially now you've played 4 straight quarters without giving up a score.
Yeah, they kind of got that U of M wide receiver from Grosse Pointe South went off a little bit there, and the Cougars did a nice job of kind of getting their bearings and slowing them down, and they were able to pull away with a win because as the game started to turn wild, they jumped up 14-0. Before you know it, it's 21-21, and it's a dogfight. So they did a nice job of slowing things down and taking a hold of that game.
Yeah, they did give up a kick return to Johnson in that football game right before half. Eagles jump offside.
nice little freeze play off the. Eisenhower's not expecting that, trying to get a little advantage off, and Dakota's going to move the chains there on the first down mistake by, or second down mistake there by the Eisenhower defensive line.
So Cougars, as we mentioned, coming into play tonight, 3-3, and well within the playoff hunt. And we'll get into some specifics in the second half, Jeff, of exactly where the Cougars and the rest of the MAC Red kind of fit in the playoff picture as we wind down the regular season just 2 weeks after tonight.
It is winding down fast. Little counter.
There he goes. Once again, this time from 4 yards out, his second touchdown of the game. The Cougars go right down the field, 78 yards, and take the early 13-0 lead.
Yeah, Wheeler and Watson and even Cooper Phillips banging some bodies in there, and Caden Sloan was able to follow him right in the end zone. And now you put this team down 2 scores. You're going to get to the point really soon where you have to abandon the original game plan. You're going to have to start slinging it, and you're going to play right in the hands of the Cougars.
So it's the 11th touchdown now on the season for the senior Sloan. Extra point is good, and just like that, it is now the Cougars 14, the Eagles nothing.
Yep, nice boot there by Dominic Celestini. Nice kick right through the uprights, put it right down the middle. 14-0, 2:38 to go. And remember, Dakota kicked off, so they're going to get the ball to start the second half. So I think if you're the Eagles, you got to really kind of take this 2:38 right now and try to get some points, because if Dakota gets the ball and comes out and goes up 21-0, Eisenhower's in big trouble.
And the Cougars actually have two really capable kickers this season, Celestini and Markovsky. Came into play tonight 17 of 18, so 2 more extra points here tonight. They're 19 of 20 on PAT, so 2 terrific kickers.
That's a nice little 1-2 punch. Most teams struggle to get 1. The Cougars actually have on the roster 3, so pretty impressive.
So Eisenhower was banging on the door, couldn't come away with points as they missed the field goal, and then watch the Cougars march 78 yards straight down the field, capped off by the 4-yard touchdown run by Caden Sloan, and it gives the Cougars a 14-0 lead. Zolkowski deep as this one will bounce inbounds. Zolkowski fields it at the 3. Changes directions, has nowhere to go. Good pursuit and coverage by the Cougar special teams.
Jacob Leha, number 21, on a job. Nice job of getting his head across the body and taking him to the ground. That's great. The Cougar kickoff team has been outstanding tonight. They have not given Eisenhower anything on a kickoff return.
Yeah, and they've yet to have a touchback, so kicking the ball in play and able to pin the Eagles back.
Yeah, the kicking's been great, and the coverage has been outstanding, and that's really made long fields for the Eagles, which they have struggled with.
So 2:32 left to go. First half of play. Preston Crum rolls out to his right, looking deep. Looking for a receiver, and Connor Temple. Temple, just a freshman, Jeff.
Got a flag in the backfield, though. You might have a roughing the passer here. Yeah, nice job. He can sling it. I told you that before the game. I watched him throw. I think he slowed down a little bit, too, Brad, because he had a step, and I think he slowed down a little bit and misplayed that football. Might have been a late hit on the quarterback or a high shot. We really didn't see it. When he threw the ball, we were kind of like everybody else watching it, except for the official behind the play who threw the flag. That's a huge break.
So will be a personal foul, moves the football all the way up to the 29. It also stops the clock. So there's a shot deep downfield, really the first that the Eagles have taken all night.
And they got 15 yards on the penalty, so it's really helped them kind of move the chains a little bit.
Pocket collapses momentarily. Crum able to stay on his feet up to midfield and finally brought down. Keon Nixon with the tackle. We got a Cougar down.
Yeah, I don't know if he's down or if he's just upset, because Dylan Ivanen had a kill shot, missed it. And Crum did a nice job of sidestepping him and getting a couple extra yards. And after the penalty, nice job of using his feet. Eisenhower's in business in Dakota territory. 30 seconds into their drive.
Ball at the Cougar 48.
Just tough when you got everyone dropping into coverage and you're bringing 3 and he gets past that first level. He's got a lot of room to run.
23 yards on the scamper by Preston Crum. He's going to roll out to his right once again. He's going to chuck it downfield. He's got a wide receiver wide open. That's Hayden Bills.
I'll tell you what, one adjustment I just watched the Eagles make is they got the wing guy helping on Anthony Coleman. So he's being double teamed on that edge, and he could not get upfield. And Dustin Crum had all day to throw, and he threw an absolute rope. About 20 yards, right down to the 26-yard line. He threw an absolute laser across that field.
Yeah, they pick up 22 in the process, move the chains. Clock stopped with 1:35 left to go.
Yeah, nice job, too, by the receiver of getting out of bounds.
And clock should be, okay, the wide receiver did get out of bounds. And now a timeout going to be called by Dakota, as it looked like they were scrambling to get a player into the proper formation.
Yeah, and sometimes, too, Coach Bauer has all 3 timeouts left. They don't carry over the second half. So if you feel like you're on the same page or you even just want to make your defense aware of something, that's a good time to use them. I mean, even with 2 timeouts, a minute 35 is a lot of time. And again, you want to make sure that if you can come away just like you did that last drive with no points allowed, you know, they'll be really happy going into the half knowing they get the football to start the second half.
So we mentioned Dakota 15-13 all-time against Eisenhower, including last year's 24-10 victory over at Ike. But Jeff, it's kind of been the Eagles that have been the victors as of late. They've won the previous 5 games prior to last season's win by the Cougars. So the Eagles have kind of had the Cougars' number, so to speak.
Recent times, that's a surprising stat, especially with the, in this MAC Red division, I mean, especially even when you hit late season, even playoff time, strange things just happen. I mean, it's just amazing how you see every year at least some team from the Red make the semifinals.
Zolkowski up to the 20, stiff arms a defender.
Yeah.
Ridden down there by Tyler Harper.
Nice cut, got 7 yards on it. Did a nice job in the open field there, making the defenders miss. Gets 7 yards in the play, and this is, besides the last drive that they really got close, this has really been one of the best drives we've seen the Eisenhower offense tonight, looking really, really good.
Crum takes the chest high snap, looks to his right, slot receiver is open. It's Cardamone, picks up the first down.
Yep, nice little out route past the chains. Clock will stop while they get them set, and this gives a chance for the Eagles to get set. A lot of time, minute to go, where the Eagles are at the 13-yard line, 12-yard line.
Eisenhower looks really calm, cool, and collected, even though they're down 14-0. Really important 50 seconds left of football here in the first half of play. Crum, 5-step drop, floats one out. That was a very dangerous pass. Keon Nixon knocking that pass out of thin air.
Yeah, he was double covered. He did a nice job of knocking that down and setting that down marker to number 2 there, second down. So good coverage there by the Cougars. But I will say this, it's been very impressive, the young fellows poised tonight. You're a sophomore. I know it's your second year on the varsity, but boy, he just does not play like a sophomore. He's very calm back there. He manages the game really well. He doesn't seem to flinch much under pressure. He doesn't hurry anything. He stays in his rhythm and stays within himself. That's not usually a characteristic of a very young player early in his varsity career.
And he injured himself in the first half of that game against Lake Orion in week number 1 on a celebration and had to come out as they go to the fade this time. Was looking for Connor Temple, the freshman.
Yeah, great coverage over there by Dakota. Yeah, it was Vitale again. He's kind of been all over the place, and I don't know why you're going to test him. He's won a lot of battles tonight. I would maybe thinking about throwing at somebody else. I think if you're Coach Bauer, you want him throwing at Nico's way the whole night because Nico hasn't been beaten yet, and he's made some great open field tackles on the run. And they got to respot the ball because they moved it back a yard.
And they will indeed correct that.
The Cougar sideline will definitely not help them out on that one.
Crum out of the pistol. The Cougars bring some pressure, and they get to Crum. It was Aiden Mata.
Yeah, Coleman, there were a lot of guys in there. That thing just collapsed. Almost looked like a mudslide. Just everything just collapsed all at one time, and Crum had nowhere to go.
And the Eagles letting this clock just continue to tick down. 10 seconds now left to go in the first half. And
I think Coach Smith's going to let it wind down and didn't talk about do we go for it and try to score or do we kick a field goal, and that's going to be the last play of the half. So they don't want to give the Cougars the ball.
He takes the timeout with 2 seconds remaining here in the second quarter of play, and now it's decision time. Cue the Jeopardy music. Do you attempt the kick? You didn't have any success on your first kick attempt. This would be a 34-yard field goal from the extreme right hash. And he had a bad exchange between center and holder on the first attempt.
Right, plus the middle of that group was just blown up. So, I mean, if you go for it, if you're the Cougars, I think you got to spy the quarterback so he doesn't get off and run, and you just make sure you blanket everybody and bring some pressure. Like I said, he didn't even get a chance to even get set on that last play, and that offensive line just collapsed with the pressure the Cougars brought.
Looks like they're going to kick a field goal.
Oh,
so
block unit comes in.
Cardamone to hold.
It's almost like a 34 and a half from where his finger's down. Coach Bauer going to ice him.
It'll be Julian Lee to kick here for Eisenhower. A little surprised on the road with really nothing to lose that Eisenhower would elect to kick a field goal here.
Yeah, I mean, even if you make it, it's still a 2-score game. So whether you get 3 or a touchdown doesn't change. Touchdown makes it a 1-score game.
I realize for morale purposes, you don't want to get inside the red zone on back-to-back
Right.
drives and come away with no points, but this is no gimme.
No, and not only that, you know, I believe it was Michael Patiglia who blew up the last one because he's lining up kind of right in the middle there. Him and Coleman are kind of right next to each other there in the middle. Now Giles is kind of flipped there. So they got Coach Carly, Coach Bauer do some nice things here on special teams that make it difficult for opposing teams to be successful with.
Lee, a
Blown up
straightaway
again.
kicker, 34 yards. The kick is pure.
He nailed
No
it.
doubt about that one. And the halftime horn will sound as Lee drills one through the uprights. Puts Eisenhower on the scoreboard as they trail 14-3. The Cougars will have the very first possession of the second half of play. Jeff, your thoughts on that first half of play?
You know, nice job there by the Eagles to get down the board. You know, a little surprised at the field goal, but, you know, hey, you know, you got to manage the game, and they're on the board. Dakota will get the ball to start the second half, and right now the Eagles got to find a way to slow down Caden Sloan in that offensive line.
Sloan accounting for both Cougar touchdowns. They head into the locker room up 14-3. We'll take a quick break here on Chippewa Valley Cable, but when we come back, the second half of play.
Great job, ladies. Leah Van Sambach, Elena Shores, Abby Woods, and Peyton Parrish. That's your senior dance team members. Great job, girls. Good luck in the future. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
Big bag, just another belly band. Paper back, working back, party back, no how, give it up. I know that's right.
All right, let's hear it for the varsity dance team. Great job, ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Dakota Cougar Marching Band under the direction of Justin Felix, led by drum majors Janine Dancy, Sean Myers, and Isabel Cooper. Tonight the band will perform a show titled Love is Poison. Love is Poison was written to embody the feeling of loving something so much that you can't let go. Music for tonight's performance includes Familiar Taste of Poison by Hailstorm, Never Be Alone by David Guetta, I Put a Spell on You by Screamin' Jay Hawkins, Strange Humors by John Mackey, and Toxic by Britney Spears. Tonight's performance includes soloist Connor Billings on trumpet. We would like to give a special thanks to Capitol Banquet Center, Brothers 33, the Aspen Restaurant, and Chicken Shack for supporting your Dakota Cougar Marching Band. evening. It is now time to present you our 2021 homecoming court. If you could please direct your attention to the 30-yard line. Our first nominees are Gavin Moore and Nicole Stryjecki. Next we have Kaden Sloan and Emily Noyes. Next we have Alex Cimitero and Olivia Hadley. Mitchell Warner and Maddie Hutchins. Jacob Van Vliet and Milena Mara. Nolan Threlkeld and Bianca Carparinos. Aiden Dale and Morgan Lowers. Sean Myers and Janine Adamski. Anish Topuala and Maya Bohenic. And Richard Benaquiso and Taylor Scramlin. These 20 candidates presented to you were chosen as representatives by the senior class. The candidates were then voted upon by the student body to determine this year's winners. We would like to thank you all for your participation. Our king and queen will be crowned by Brad Wieland and Nina Julin, the 2019 homecoming king and queen. We are happy to present the 2021 homecoming king, Kaden Sloan. And now, your 2021 homecoming queen, Morgan Lowers. Congratulations, Kaden and Morgan. Thank you so much to our entire court and to all the fans here tonight. Student government hopes everyone is enjoying Homecoming Week 2021. Thank you for your support and enjoy the rest of the football game. Let's give them all a big hand.
Welcome back to Dakota High School. Cougars out in front on homecoming, 14-3. Eisenhower Eagles adding that field goal late in the first half, 34-yard field goal, in fact. Kaden Sloan, 2 touchdowns in the first half to give the Cougars this 14-3 lead. Brad Fetters alongside Jeff Vitale for Chippewa Valley Cable Television. So glad you decided to tune us in here. Week 7 of the MHSAA football season. Only 2 weeks left to go. The season finale tonight for the MAC Red League schedule. Just heard that Stevenson and Romeo 0-0 at halftime.
Whoa. That's a shock. Romeo's bowing out.
Romeo Bulldogs could claim a share of the MAC Red title here tonight. Stevenson trying to win it outright. And go a perfect 5-0 in MAC Red play. Did you think a team was going to go 5-0 in the MAC Red this year?
No, not with the way it was stacked like it was. You figured they were going to get a hiccup somewhere, but we talked about how big Dakota's offensive line is. The one team that can match some of these teams in this league with size is Stevenson. They are by far the biggest team I have seen, not only this year, but in a long time. They are just massive, and they're going to cause some problems for some teams in the playoffs.
So really good punt return, or a kick return rather, by Dakota to start the second half. Gives them the football on the 35. And no surprise, Sloan, the very first carry of the second half. Eisenhower, for the most part, has done a pretty good job of defending Caden Sloan. He does have the 2 touchdowns. They're both short yardage touchdowns after getting good field position after an Eisenhower fumble.
Yeah, they have not given up many big plays tonight, Brad. But just unfortunately for them, their defense has kind of put them in some bad situations, or offense has put them in some bad situations that it's just too much to ask.
Sloan once again explores the left side. Going to be a yard short of the first down markers. It'll bring up a 3rd and 1 to go. Yeah, the Eisenhower offense, 2 3 and outs to start the game. They lost a fumble on their own 5-yard line. Gave Dakota pretty much an automatic touchdown there. And then they had those 2 long sustained drives. They ended up missing a field goal and kicking a field goal. So true trips into the red zone, only accounting for 3 points here tonight for the Eisenhower offense. And that was something we talked about at the very top of the broadcast, that this Eisenhower offense really hadn't gotten off the schneid, so to speak, and were really struggling to find any sort of identity. They've had Preston Crum at quarterback here in the second half of the season. After he was injured in week 1 against Lake Orion, they turned to Aiden Ives. Now Ives is injured, so all the things that could go wrong have gone wrong for a very prideful team in the Eisenhower Eagles.
Yeah, and don't forget too, the Cougars have had some big injuries as well. Just last week, but gosh, I just drew a blank here. Give me 1 second. Gavin Moore. He obviously an integral part of that defense that comes in and plays some offense. So another little swing pass that's worked well too. But, so the Cougars have battled some injuries, too. They've had some big games, the big win here against Chippewa Valley when they had the rivals here, and, packed house and late drive to win the game. Caden Sloan, just runs all over the field. They go against Stevenson. They take the opening drive down the field and score before falling by 2 scores to the Titans. They had that close game with Romeo, 14-10. That could have went either way. I mean, this team's not far away from being 5-1, instead of 3-3.
20 straight playoff appearances for the Cougars. Last time they failed to make the playoffs was 2000. That year they went 4-5. But lately, for Dakota, it's kind of been the district championship game that's been their bugaboo. 5 straight seasons now, they failed to make it out of district play.
Yeah, they've, and of course, every year pretty much in that district, obviously some teams going in and out, but it's usually Dakota and Chippewa always in the same district. Sometimes you'll see an Ike pop in, a Stevenson pop in, a Romeo pop in, even though they usually go north, but it's kind of all over the place depending on who makes it. So, I mean, that district is brutal sometimes, and, sometimes you're on the poor end of just, the unlucky scheduling.
Well, and you could see that again this year. 32 teams will qualify for the Division I playoffs this season, and this is the first full season, and we're seeing these playoff points. Every team made it to the playoffs last year with the COVID-shortened season, but right now Dakota's 25th in playoff points. They're the top 3-win team in the state of Michigan with 51.667 playoff points, but they're currently just 3 playoff points above the cut line.
And nice job there by Luke O'Neill. Came down from his outside linebacker spot and made the play on Sloan. That's a zone read played. that's probably a play where Ethan needs to pull at and go off tackle there because there was nobody there. Everyone had really crashed down on Sloan. So Cougars look like they're going to go back to their Wildcat here, the ground and pound. At 3rd and what, about 5? Looks like it's about halfway between there.
Yep, the line to gain's the 21, a little scrimmage from the 26. This is just a very patient Dakota offense. Only had the ball once in the second quarter. That was a really long drive, and Sloan able to bust this out to the right, and he goes in for his 3rd touchdown of the game. 26 yards to pay dirt, and it opens up the lead.
Yeah, just a nice job he hit the hole. There was nothing there. There's a flag, though. I didn't see it. There's a flag sitting right at the 25. Looks like they're going to call a hold on the Cougars.
They sure are.
That negates the touchdown, Brad.
So they'll wipe the points right off the scoreboard.
And probably now in terms, I mean, you got to take the Wildcat off. If you're going to go for it, you're 3rd and 15. You know, you get half his back with the kickers you got, you could probably go for the field goal, but you got to get some distance back because where the ball's spotted, you're talking about a 52-yard field goal. And at the high school level, you know, there are very few kids in the state that can hit a 52-yard field goal in a game.
So Ethan Hamby back in at the quarterback position. As Sloan in his left pocket. They send a man in motion. It's Garbarino. It's going to be a screen this time to Sloan on the right-hand side. Going to be tackled down inside the 20. And he does, in fact, pick up that first down.
Great job by the linemen getting downfield. They just plowed the road. There are bodies and white jerseys flying everywhere. Caden Sloan even gives a little hurdle there, showing a little track coach, a little something here maybe for the springtime. But pick up the first down. Nice play call on 3rd and long. A little screen play for the Cougars.
And Caden Sloan's having quite the night. At halftime, he was crowned homecoming king.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good day so far, right? And we're only halfway old. You know, in the Chippewa game, too, I think he was the rivalry's player of the game or something like that. So, I mean, he has taken home some hardware this year throughout this season through 6 weeks.
Definitely picking up the accolades and just begin to wonder where he is going to go to play at the next level because you have to anticipate he's going to
he came up
somewhere.
He came up and talked to me before the game, Brad. Nobody has offered him yet, and that just blows me away. I mean, I don't know what they're looking at. You know, there's some schools that he could play for and not only play but do well. And how you're not knocking on his door is beyond me.
Sevick this time gets the carry.
Yeah, nice.
Down to the 14-yard line.
Nice job up there between the tackles, just running hard. On 1st and 15, they get a nice gain there, all the way down to the 14-yard line.
So that's the only bit of rust that Caden Sloan needs. One play out, right back in.
Yeah, he's in really good shape.
Bring Casey Carr in to play the slot receiver position. Wes Williams off to the left. They run Sloan behind him. Brandon Kedrow, the tackler for the Eagles. Change in personnel coming in for Dakota offensively. So they've taken nearly 7 minutes off this clock.
Yeah, being very patient. You know, big old Wildcat coming in now, so here comes some ground and pound. Got some halftime scores. Chippewa up 35-20 on Grosse Pointe South.
Wow. Is that a high-powered offense by Chippewa Valley or what?
Stevenson Romeo still showing 0-0.
Sloan once again picks up the first down, so they have goal to go inside the 5-yard line. Frustration has to be setting in defensively for Eisenhower. Nothing they can do. They're watching that clock just evaporate.
And again, when they get down here, they are so big. I mean, you know, and we like being undersized. I mean, you're just asking a lot for these guys that are giving up lots of pounds per player on that front line.
Sloan in the Wildcat. Got a couple touchdowns already from this formation. Not going to get it this time. Good penetration. Matt Ames, one of the Eagles in there. Raymond as well.
Well, you said it earlier, Brad, and then maybe we should bring it up. If Stevenson falls tonight, what are we looking at here?
We're looking at a tie between Romeo and Stevenson at the top.
Yeah, Romeo would get a share of the MAC Red. Dakota and Chippewa have too many losses already. The best they could finish would be second if the Bulldogs were to pull off a huge victory.
You can't really call it an upset because Romeo's playing pretty doggone good as Sloan goes in. There's the signal. Third touchdown of the game.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, as I said, it's tough for the Eagles to stop, but this drive took a ton of time, almost 9 minutes. And boy, oh boy, well, at least that Eisenhower offense is rested, Brad.
And they're finally going to get a shot here with 3:33 left to go in the third quarter.
They haven't been on the field for like 35 minutes.
Yeah, because they ended the first half with the football and had a really long break because of the homecoming ceremony. Extra point is up, and it is good. So 21-3 your score. Your 3 Caden Sloan touchdowns here. So we mentioned those 20 straight playoff appearances for Dakota. Eisenhower has made the playoffs 20 of the last 21 seasons. Obviously, that's in jeopardy and is going to fall this year. The last time, Jeff, they failed to make the playoffs was in 2013. They went 5-4. The last time they had a losing record, which is going to happen this season, was in 1984. They went 3-6.
Wow. In that 5-4 year, they probably just missed.
Yeah. Yeah, 6 would have got the automatic qualify for the playoffs that year, and 5-4 was probably just missing out on the playoffs by their fingernails. In fact, they've only had 7 years in their storied history where they played below 500 football. 45 of 52 seasons, Eisenhower has made the state playoffs. That's a perennial power.
Yeah, and that just tells you how great this league is. I mean, you tell them, I mean, and you're talking about, still you're talking about Stevenson, who gets there quite a bit, Chippewa Valley, Dakota, Story. I mean, year after year, it's been these 4 teams, and, they're always, in the state playoffs making noise.
Terrific return, still on his feet. Zolkowski up across the 35, so maybe that's the spark the Eisenhower Eagles need to get back in this football game. They'll take over at the 36-yard line.
Yeah, Tyler Harper did a nice job running him down there as the return unit for the Eagles, gave him some nice running room there, but Harper did a nice job of catching up and taking him to the ground, and Ike's going to get probably their best starting position of the day.
Yeah, it will be, in fact, their best starting field position of the day. The previous best was a 28-yard line.
Well, Anchor Bay up 28-0 on Lands Cruise North. That's going to give the Tars the white division.
And Anchor Bay, to kind of put things in perspective, they're currently 16th.
Oh,
there's a fumble. And Cougars say they have it. And, in fact, they do.
Jacob Leha on the fumble recovery, and boy, we just talked about Ike's great starting position, the best they had all day, and now a turnover gives the Cougars tremendous starting position. After an almost 8.5-minute drive, Ike had the ball for 13 seconds.
That's a backbreaker right there for Eisenhower. Third time now the Cougars are going to start in Eagle territory. Second turnover caused by the Cougars defensively. You can pretty much put a nail in the coffin here if the Cougars can come up with points. See if Hamby here perhaps takes it to the air. He will. Flushed out of the pocket and driven down. Quarterback sack. Krasinski bringing Hamby down.
Small loss on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and 14.
Be a 4-yard loss.
Yeah, he did a nice job of stepping up. There's just too many guys in the backfield, and they were able to easily get the sack.
So kind of complete our thought around that Anchor Bay Tars team. 5-1 coming into play tonight, ranked 16th in the state playoffs.
Well, they got this Eagle team next week.
Yep. That should be an interesting contest. That's a home game for Eisenhower.
Oh, nice read.
Hamby keeps it himself.
That was a nice pull. He had to make a stiff arm, and Ethan Hamby did a nice job on the stiff arm. Pulled it up and got the first down. That's a great run by the quarterback. It looks like, is there a flag down there on the far side?
Luke and Neal.
Yes, there is. By the 40-yard line. There's a flag over there.
The tackler. And this is
block in the back.
Another play that's going to come back. A couple self-inflicted wounds tonight by the Dakota offense. It hasn't been a perfect game for them offensively. Some procedural penalties, a holding call that negated a touchdown.
Yeah, this is you got to go 26 yards for a first down here. Or is that 25?
25,
yeah, that's
ball
a
placed
long
all
way.
the way back at the midfield stripe. Hamby looking for his playmaker, Colpert. Nothing there. Pickup of 2.
Well, the penalties have definitely hurt the Cougars, and obviously with the Eagles with that big turnover has helped Eisenhower, because 28-3 here with the way this game has gone, it pretty much puts the nail in a coffin.
So your top 5 teams in terms of playoff points are Rockford, Rochester, Adams, Saline, Grand Blanc, Brownstown, Woodhaven. And then our first look at a MAC Red School in Sterling Heights, Stevenson at 6th, 5-1. And the top 5-win team in those playoff points, Romeo Bulldogs right behind them at 11. So that could flip here tonight.
And that Rockford team is putting up some serious points. They have a high-powered offense, very, very well-coached football team.
Chopped down near the line of scrimmage. Not much going on offensively for the Cougars after that penalty. So an opportunity for them to really blow open this football game after the Eisenhower fumble, and Dakota, not much cooking there. We'll just punt this football away.
Yeah, that was tough. You get the ball at the 34-yard line, you're punting from the 47.
Good clean kick. Wobble around the 15.
Nice.
And we'll take a little bit of a Cougar bounce down to the 11-yard line.
Again, you know, the starting field position for Eisenhower today has not been good. They've really had to work with long fields, and now you're going to start over again deep inside the 20 at the 10-yard line, 11-yard line. That's a lot of field to work with how this defense is playing.
So do you like the change that the MHSA has made, moving to these playoff points?
I do, because I think it allows you to see some of these matchups where you can actually schedule some powerhouses and it doesn't hurt you. And
not worry about losing.
Yeah, and it penalizes the teams that schedules a patsy, so to speak, and sneak into the playoffs when they're really a fraud.
So you get 60 points for a win, and then it gets divided by the number of games you've played. There's some bonus points in there as well for opponent victories. So better off with your opponents winning multiple games, because it gets you those bonus points.
Yeah, I think you really get the best teams in the area in, just because of how they play and what you know. You can take a 5-4 team versus an 8-1 team, and the 8-1 team plays nobody, and the 5-4 team lost to maybe 4 teams that are high up in the playoff points. That team should get in over the 5-8-1 team.
Well, you take a look at Dakota this year. right at 500 with 3 wins and 3 losses, yet they're firmly in the playoff race because they're ranked 25th in the state.
Well, yeah, when you play in the MAC Red and you're above 500, your chances are good because the competition you play. And not only that, don't forget they opened up here against Brother Rice.
Sure.
Stevenson opened up. Was that game? Was
Rockford.
that Rockford?
Yep.
Chippewa opened up against Catholic Central. I mean, these schools in the Red Division are playing big time teams, and that's going to help them going forward. So, and not to mention too, you survive the schedule. Obviously except for Eisenhower, you're going to make it in. Grosse Pointe South, so far losing tonight to Chippewa. Looks like they're not going to make it in, but they have some talent. So again, you could have Dakota, Stevenson, Romeo, and Chippewa all in the playoff hunt that could do some damage.
Let's check in on Grosse Pointe South. They may be a Division II team.
It's a nice little route there where the outside receiver went deep and the inside receiver ran an out right at the marker there, and Crum hit him right on the money for a first down.
And Grosse Pointe South currently 24th in Division II, so they would be one of the last teams in Division II. De La Salle currently in the top spot in Division II.
And I don't know. See who Grosse Pointe South next week goes to Mott. That should be a favorable matchup for them. Mott 3-3, obviously in the white division, don't get the schedule that the Grosse Pointe South Blue Devils do. And they obviously don't have their Week 9 opponent here, but I would definitely say they are the favorite in the Mott game. If they lose today, they're 3-4. They have a chance to possibly finish 5-4, and we'll see if that's enough for them to get in or not.
Some movement along the line there for Eisenhower.
Grosse Pointe South's only MAC Red win came against this Eisenhower Eagle team.
Back on September 24th, a real slugfest in that one. 9-3 your final. Blue Devils over the Eagles.
Yeah, people might have caught up on some sleep during that game.
Crum, all kinds of pursuit that time, and he's going to check down to a safety valve. Ethan Barker that time.
I mean, that's a 20-yard throw going to his right. No one really understands how tough of a throw it is to make, not to mention being run down.
Yeah, on the move.
I mean, that's a heck of a throw, especially by a young sophomore.
So that Romeo Stevenson game still locked up at zeros, huh?
It is. Yeah, Romeo has come to play, and I can tell you this. I've known Kurt Renus for a long time. I can tell you what, he's one of the best game planners that I've seen in a long time, and he will put his team more often than not in a position to win. And I don't know if Stevenson kind of came in from last week's, impressive win at Chippewa. They put up 450-some yards rushing, and feeling good about themselves. But Romeo right now is playing some ball, holding this team in a 0-0 game right now, which is probably somewhere in the third quarter at least by now. It just haven't been updated on the score stream app. But Romeo is playing some ball, so don't ever count out the Bulldogs. They are always well coached and well prepared.
They too made that long playoff run a few seasons ago, as it seems like every MAC Red team at some point has kind of cycled their way through, made long playoff runs as Gucci would call for a fair catch and make it at the 46-yard line.
Last year or 2 years ago, that was a penalty if you took off running on a fair catch, because sometimes you just forget you made a fair catch. That used to be a penalty. That was a 5-yard penalty. I've said it a couple times this year on the broadcast. I don't think a lot of people realize how hard that job is. When you see nothing but air, the football coming, and you just hear those footsteps, and your job is to just catch the ball.
Especially at night.
Right. And you have to ignore all that.
A lot of these stadiums, the lighting's not real good. Obviously, here we're spoiled, but some of these stadiums, the lighting's not real good. And
Look at this
that
formation,
brown
Brad.
orbs coming out of the sky. Yeah, trips to the right. Sloan going to run to the left up to the 50.
That was like a trip to like the bunch nth degree. Like they were almost in a diagonal lined up, like they were going to try to wash everybody down. And Sloan took it off to the left for 4 yards. That's the first time we've seen that formation all night by the
They
Cougars.
didn't split out wide at all.
No. You have one guy on the line, basically kind of covering up a tight end, and everyone else is in the backfield, and which is obviously a legal formation if you don't throw the tight end. But he's actually lined up right now. As, yeah, they got. Yeah, so there he goes. Now he
Same
backs
look
off.
once again. Now they're going to send a man in motion. Jet sweep to him.
Yeah, that's number 5.
Garbarino up to the 41. Pick up a 9 yards, moves the chain, stayed in bounds.
Yeah, he's speedy. A nice job of changing directions. Got the ball down the 40, and I think, you know, the Cougars, especially on that last drive where they really pounded, or the drive before where they really pounded it, that 9-minute drive, are just going to try to come out and try to break the spear here. The Eagles with 9:40 to go in the into the ball game.
Pretty much ice this one away. Hamby going to pass this time. Floats one out. Was looking for Quest Williams. Just out of his reach. They'll bring up a second down and 10. Yeah, you just kind of have a feeling with all of our local teams in the mix, you could have some really interesting matchups in the playoffs.
Think about this. I mean, you could theoretically have a district with Stevenson, Dakota, and Chippewa Valley in the same district.
Sure.
Imagine that.
Yep. You're going to have 8 districts with 4 teams. 32 total teams will make it. 4 regions of 8 teams is basically how the state's going to break it down. 32-team bracket. Garbarino once again.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job of getting him the ball in space, and they're kind of working them out a little bit. Caden Sloan's kind of getting a little bit of rest.
Ideally, you would like to have the top 4 teams kind of go off into their own separate brackets, but you can't do that because of geographics. Obviously, the state tries to keep teams close by for those district matchups.
Right, and those 3 teams are all within about 15 minutes of each other.
It's almost a shame that you
Right.
couldn't have those teams potentially meet in like an Elite 8 or a Final 4, but there's a bad snap, and Hamby's just going to fall on it. Wise play by the quarterback.
Yeah, took his eye off the ball there just for a split second, and that ball just goes sailing by. It happens sometimes.
So this is the final home game of the season for the Dakota Cougars. They'll go on the road for their next 2. They'll take on Lance Cruz North in a Roseville team, Jeff, that you look at on paper and you say, well, that team's 500. They're 3-3. No, they're really 6-0. They lost their first 3 games of the season due to forfeit. They had some ineligible players to start the season. It's a Panther team that's really 6-0. They could give the Cougars some problems.
And putting
last
like
week of
some
the
serious
season.
points up.
Yeah, we're talking 60s and 70s.
Oh,
And
what a
out
nice
of the
route there.
hands.
Oh, he was wide open. Someone broke down in coverage because you don't see somebody that wide open down the football field. That was to number
Thomas.
39, 38?
38, Thomas, yeah.
He was wide open.
Kind of fell on his back and wasn't able to bring that football in.
And sometimes those are even the toughest catches when nobody is around you.
Your immediate thought is, I just got to secure this football. All kinds of pressure, jailbreak, and screen pass. Casey Carr.
Yeah, that's a great play call because now you can go for it, and it's a manageable 4th and 10 as when you were 3rd and 19. So you get a nice job of getting almost half of it back there. You know, now you give yourself a chance. And again, the double move, the fake to Sloan, which they've shown a lot tonight, and Casey cuts right to the middle of the field. There was nobody there. Nice job, though, by 74, Krasinski, of getting over there and making a play, but not until he got 10.
The schedule doesn't get any easier for Eisenhower. Thankfully, it's 2 home games, but it's Anchor Bay and West Bloomfield to finish the season. Amby. Good pass outside the numbers once again. Cutting it back upfield. Garbarino makes another man miss and dances into the end zone.
Well, it's only Friday night, but Garbarino showing some Saturday Night Fever with some juke moves on his way to the end zone for a Cougar touchdown. Got this crowd up onto its feet, and the Cougars pretty much put the nail in the coffin for the Eisenhower Eagles with 7:07 to go. Now looking to add an extra point to go up 25 points.
Garbarino might want to bust out some of those moves tomorrow night on the dance floor during homecoming.
John Travolta would have been proud.
Well, younger folks watching at home probably saying, what? Who?
Yeah, yeah, I just dated myself there.
Welcome back, Cotter, as well. 28-3.
Listen, that was before Saturday Night Fever, my man, so yeah, you really went back. Taking me down memory lane, my childhood. What a great individual effort. Nice ball, too. I mean, Hamby put it right on the money. Nice route combinations, which got him wide open. And as you can see, Blake Garbarino is not an easy man to tackle in space.
Amby's 6th touchdown toss of the season. Garbarino's first score.
Well, I'm sure that's got to feel great for him.
Garbarino.
What a way to get in the end zone for your first score, huh?
Yeah. Garbarino, 11 catches for 105 yards. His longest of the season prior to tonight's game was just 17 yards.
Wow.
This is only his 4th game played this year.
Well, I'm willing to bet before he got to varsity, that kid found the end zone a few times. I'm going to go out on a limb there, Brad. Quick update from Sterling Heights High School as the scores have been updated. The Titans are up 2 scores on the Bulldogs, 15-0, Brad.
And we know Stevenson likes to go for 2, and obviously they picked up a 2-point conversion at some point. Go up 15-0. So congratulations more than likely to the Titans on a terrific MAC Red season, and they got some unfinished business to take care of. That looks like a team that really could make some noise in the playoffs.
Yeah, that was a team week 1 that went up to Rockford and got handled, and I'm sure they're hoping they get a crack at them at the playoffs. I mean, the Rams, you know, I can remember when Dakota won their first state championship in 06, and they had to go against Rockford. At the time was the three-peat. They were the 2-time defending state champions, and Coach Giannone at the time, the head coach here, referred to it as a football final exam. And really, it's the tradition they've had over the years, and the coaches that have gone through there, legendary coaches, Hall of Fame coaches. You know, that you want to talk about a school with rich tradition in a league that is pretty doggone tough also.
Solkowski. Yeah, we oftentimes, you and I, compare the MAC Red and say, well, it's probably the toughest division in the state of Michigan. Well, they got the OK Red on the west side. That's
right.
Pretty doggone good as well.
Yeah, I mean, you got Rockford, Muskegon, Grand Haven. I mean, you got it is a who's who, and I mean, just the talent that comes out of that league. You know, Muskegon every year, D2, D3, but beats a lot of Division I football teams. You know, the Cougars have played them a few times. Played them on a home-and-home series here and got to go to the west side of the state and play them. So it's nice that you see those games, that you see some of these high schools kind of link up against each other.
Caledonia playing out of that
Caledonia,
OKC
yep.
Red. They too are 6-0.
Hudsonville. I mean, they're just there's a lot of teams in that conference. The other divisions are stronger than obviously the other divisions of the MAC. But if you compare the 2 highest divisions, the Red is much deeper.
Third and 10, Crum gonna have to get this ball out. There's a receiver in the vicinity, and he crashes into the Dakota bench. He's back up on his feet, good to see.
Nice sportsmanship by the Cougars. There wasn't just one guy helping Barker up. There was about 4 of them helping him to his feet, little pat on the helmet. Nice sportsmanship there, good to see. You know, these just are 16, 17, 18-year-olds, Brad, so nice to see that. Especially in a world,
that, don't we?
Well, in a world of crazy times right now, as nuts as it is, it's refreshing to see that stuff because unfortunately we don't see it very often. You know, we talked about the offense, but I'll tell you this. The Dakota Cougar defense tonight has really came to play. They have not made things easy on a depleted Eisenhower offense, really making them work hard for every yard they get.
We talked about it back in the first half. They shut out Grosse Pointe South in the second half of that football game. Look out, big punt return here. To crash into his own man, but stay on his feet.
2 guys back there, and one of them's Caden Sloan. How does he catch that football? Can you explain that to me?
Got to keep it away from him, don't you?
I mean, I made a living 2 years ago saying, don't kick the ball to David Ellis. And there's Caden Sloan in the back, and I believe the other one was it Lucci?
I think so.
Okay, and no offense to Dario, heck of a football player. But I'm kicking it to Dario over Caden Sloan. My man, Dario, no offense. I think you're a heck of a football player, but I'm not kicking the ball to Caden Sloan. Just saying.
So Amby going to stay in this football game.
They haven't quite updated the Dakota score yet either. It's still 14-3 at the half. They're missing a great game on ScoreStream. Maybe I should pop on and change that, huh?
Couple second half touchdowns here for the Cougars has extended that lead 28-3.
And it really wasn't a high-powered look today. This was a methodical beatdown.
You're absolutely right. I mean, Dakota right from the get-go had a game plan, and they didn't want to show too many other cards here, and just heavy doses of Caden Sloan, and he really hasn't broke any big, long runs, but it's just been really solid football, reaching out for the touchdown and getting it.
Yeah, nice job by Kasevic, and stretches that ball, breaks the plane. That puts the Cougars to that 34-point mark with the extra point to come. That's got to feel good, too, to crack that. Let's see if I can get on here. And
Kevitt's third touchdown of the season. Extends that lead even more. Snap is good, the kick is up, and it is pure. All Cougars here tonight on homecoming, 35-3. Third different Cougar to find pay dirt. Strike up the band, start the fight song, why not?
I'm trying to figure this silly thing out here, Brad. Give me a minute.
Well,
I'm
Cougars
working.
5-1 last year in that COVID-shortened season, and beat L'Anse Creuse North 43-6 in the first round of the playoffs before falling to Romeo 15-14 in heartbreak fashion. You mentioned the district finals kind of been their bugaboo of late. 5 straight years Dakota has failed to reach the third round of the state playoffs. Selection Sunday this year is going to be really interesting. See what teams are matched up in district play.
Yeah, there could be. I hope the committee tries to spread out Dakota and Chippewa and at least Stevenson, because every year if Dakota and Chippewa are in it, they're going to play each other. There's no way, with as close as they are, there's no way you can put them in separate spots. You just can't. But you got a couple of knuckleheads on the field.
Yeah, we sure do. First I thought they were going to grab the kickoff tee, but no, they're just going to make their way all the way across the track and perhaps hop a fence. Yeah, we're going to hop a fence, and okay.
Now they got their few minutes of fame.
So the squib kick gives the Eagles pretty good field position here. We'll start out on the 41. 5:08 now left to go in the fourth quarter. Boy, nothing there.
Matthew Elias in at quarterback now for the Eagles.
Zach Herndon making the stop.
Christian Johnson on the carry, brought down by number 86, Zach Herndon.
Christian Johnson, the ball carrier there. So Eisenhower really bringing in some backups here. Elias did get plenty of time in pregame warm-ups at the quarterback position. Elias, a real big boy, takes that high snap off his shoulder pad and not going to go anywhere. Going to fail to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Matthew Elias on the keeper.
Yeah, no matter who the Cougars have put on defense, and obviously they're cycling in lots of bodies, they've just shut down this Eisenhower offense at all phases, and defensively as a complete unit have played an outstanding football game. Outstanding football game. So hats off to the job of the defensive coaches preparing for the week, which I believe are Coach Bauer, Coach Benavides, I believe Coach Carley. And if I'm missing anybody, I apologize. We try to prep and acknowledge as many people as we can on the broadcast. So it is a great job by the staff to have the team as prepared as they are defensively, because like I said, Eisenhower has not had much going all day long. They've really had to fight for everything they've gotten. And even you've made the comment earlier, the bend don't break. They got down pretty close, and that defense just stiffened right up and has really made things tough for the Eagles.
Long scamper here by Christian Johnson. Picks up the first down and more. Finally brought down at the 28-yard line. So signs of life now out of the Eagle offense.
Yeah, again, a lot of guys that work hard in practice and playing time. As always, saw something nice for the coaches. And now a high snap and a lot of blue jerseys and only one white one.
Not a very good feeling there if you're Elias.
No, you want to talk about being helpless and left on an island all by yourself. That was the case there.
And Zane Mullins with the tackle is the second time on this series. Matthew Elias had to take a high snap, so that moves them all the way back to the 43. The Eagles really in no sort of hurry getting to the line of scrimmage. 2:20 now left to go in regulation. 35-3, Cougars out in front. It has been all Dakota all night long. Had a 14-3 lead at halftime, and you say, well, Brad, that's only an 11-point lead at the halftime break, but Cougars were in control right from the get-go.
Nice shot there. Austin Morrison on the tackle. Nice job there, Austin.
Sign of a good team, right? You get stronger as the game goes on. This will be more than likely back-to-back second-half shutouts by this Cougar defense.
No, got a crowd favorite coming in the game here. Nolan Truckheld, and the Cougars, I think they might have 12 guys on the field because one came on and nobody exited. But the fans went to their feet in a hurry. It's obviously a young man here, crowd favorite here. Nice to see him get in. Now again, we don't have the luxury of height and weight, but I'm telling you what, just from sitting here, he is a big fellow, and he is lining up over the center, who cannot be very happy right now. Maybe he's trying to encourage him to move right or left. I don't know. Let's see if the big fellow gets a tackle here.
Now this place will erupt. gets pancaked.
He gets double teamed.
He almost lost his lid as well.
Not a fun way to get welcomed into the game, Brad.
How do you do? And then we'll get some Nolan chants going on as well.
That's good to see. That's gotta. Oh, now he's gonna give him a little curtain call, I guess.
Oh, and the crowd.
Or not.
boos. Gotta love Friday nights under the lights. Under a minute now left to go. Time for a couple more snaps, as long as they're good.
Was that a bounce pass?
No, that one, I think it was just a straight out drop.
I mean, he caught it. It looked like he tried to almost like make. Yeah, that was a little interesting. It hasn't rained for a while, so it's not like everything's soaking wet down there. We haven't had a lot of score movement, so some people at these games are dropping the ball on score stream. So the Chippewa Valley game still shows half, which is not. The Stevenson game still shows second quarter, which there's no way. Yeah, not a lot of scores has changed. They took my Dakota score update, so we know that that's there. Dakota going to come out and take a knee here, and or maybe not.
Well, I'm getting conflicting reports, Jeff. I'm being told it's 7-0 Romeo.
Wow.
With under 5 minutes left to go in that football game.
Oh, it's just updated on here.
Yeah, 7-0 Bulldogs.
Oh.
So Romeo might go in and somehow shut down that high-powered Chippewa Valley offense. There's no shutting down the Cougars here tonight, as that will do it. Dakota on homecoming, their final home game of the season, come away victors 35-3. Caden Sloan, the homecoming king, was the man in charge in the early going. He scores Dakota's first 3 touchdowns of the night and put this game in cruise control. Your final score 35-3 over the Eisenhower Eagles. Jeff, a lot of fun here once again tonight. Your final thoughts on this MAC Red football game?
Yeah, great football game. The Cougars dominated pretty much the whole way. But the next 2 weeks are going to tell a lot. There's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of shifting. Obviously, a lot of teams in the MAC Red are primed to have a playoff push. The question is going to be, where does everybody end up? There could be a lot of what-ifs and play these scenarios, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of playoff point watching over the next couple weeks, and we'll see where everyone falls out. But for today, in their homecoming game, it was all the guys in dark blue.
Dakota improves to 4-3, 3-2 in MAC Red play. Eisenhower falls to 1-6, 0-5 in divisional play. Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my broadcast partner, Jeff Vitale, and the rest of our hardworking Chippewa Valley crew, bringing you the sights and sounds here from the 2021 homecoming football game for Dakota High School. Once again, your final score, the Cougars 35, the Eisenhower Eagles 3. We'll say so long, but we'll see you next time right here on Chippewa Valley Cable.